All right. Well, the other thing that Nancy wanted to say, but I'm going to be the bad guy. She'll be the good cop and I'll be the bad cop. Please mute yourself if you haven't already, because lots of times there's stuff in the background. And before we introduce our fabulous speaker and presenter for this evening, I want to present Marty Stevens, who is our new Breaking Barriers Award chief. And she would like to say a few words about the award. Marty.
Thank you, Pat. I'm very happy to spend a minute with everybody promoting this Breaking Barriers Achievement Award. So first we'll be starting with a test, and here's your question. What is the significance of the date January 10th, 2022? Raise your hand if you know the significance of that date, January 10th, 2022. Well, I'll just, because I'm on Zoom and I'm unmuted, I'll let you know. It's the deadline for making a nomination for the Breaking Barriers Achievement Award. And we've been at this award now going on 8 years. And the award recognizes and celebrates a woman in Oregon who is not an AAUW member, but who exemplifies our AAUW mission. The award could also recognize and celebrate an organization that demonstrates an impact on women and girls in our state. So I'm sure you're already thinking about, I know so-and-so, or I know so-and-so. One year I found a nominee from the newspaper. I was so impressed with her story that I made contact and nominated her. Over the years, we've had nominees from awardees from Ashland, Gresham Branch, Portland Branch, Seaside Branch, and Hillsborough Forest Grove Branch. And just most recently, we had an organization recognized, the Oregon Women's History Consortium. So we're starting to build a nice history around this incredible celebration. It's a great opportunity for us as an organization to recognize local women and girls and have a reason for celebration of the incredible mission-based work they do for women and girls. So I would entertain any questions, not now, but either in the chat box or after we're offline, just send me an email. Thank you to Olga Ross. We've got more information on the website. We're going to try to increase the promotion and marketing of this award so that we continue to get as many nominees, maybe as we did last, one of the years we had as many as 7 nominees. So I'm nominated twice. Once I was successful, once I was not successful, but it's a very rewarding process. The new revised application form is on the website. And so now is your opportunity. Go for it, because you know January 10th will be here before we know it. Thanks, Pat, for giving me a minute or two.
You bet. Thank you, Marty. And thanks for taking this over. You know, Penny Hoodenpyle has pioneered this for several years now, well, for the entire time. And she decided that she needed to step back and let somebody else do it. And Marty stepped up, and she's got a couple of people working with her. So we're delighted about that. Yeah. All right. Well, tonight our presenter is someone that is known sort of to quite a few of us. She's been on a lot of our Zoom meetings. Randa Blanding is with the Tigard branch, but she's also a member of the La Mesa El Cajon branch in California, which is down by San Diego. And she moved up here about 4 or 5 years ago, and she's an incredible asset to the Tigard branch. She just told us tonight about how they celebrated her for some of the things that she helped them do and kept them together. So you'll see when she starts talking about MailChimp, how it's affected her branch, and I think how it's affected our state communications. So Randa, please take it away.
Thank you. When you said that they honored me, I must say that that was the La Mesa El Cajon branch, not the Tigard branch, because I did it 1,000 miles away. So that was important to me. I'd like to say 2 things before I start my PowerPoint presentation. The first thing is, when I go to do a newsletter, I put everything that comes to me on a Google Docs before I put it into MailChimp. That way I can be putting it in as I get it, edit it as I get it or as I need to. And then when I do the MailChimp, it's just minutes to put it together. Other thing I want to say is when I was putting this whole presentation together, which was an experience for me to be able to put it in writing so that I can share it, it's a lot of pieces and parts. And that sounds scary to me. Many of us have said, oh, my mother taught me, or my grandmother taught me, or something like that. I don't have any of those memories. My granddaughter will definitely have that memory. I have said to her many times, when you start something, it looks hard. When you've done it 2 or 3 times, you look at it and you say, why did I think that was hard? It's really easy. And that's the way I feel about MailChimp. So let's go. And I'm going to share my screen. We're going to do 3 things tonight. I'm going to share my screen, and any of you who have downloaded the information that Nancy so nicely put up for us, you can follow along with that. And I did it this way because to me, MailChimp is a learning thing that you have to learn. It's not something that you can think about and say, yes, I agree, or no, or that kind of thing. It's something to actually do. So I wanted you to be able to have some information. When the video goes up, I believe Nancy will also put a link in there for this information. So we're going to go through this information on a PowerPoint. Then I'm going to show you an email that I've created so you can see it all put together. But then I'm going to make an email in front of your very eyes so you can see how easy it is. So what is, oops, I got to share my screen first. Okay, what is MailChimp? MailChimp is one of the most popular email marketing service providers in the world, primarily because it's free. They plan on staying free. I hope that works out. MailChimp comes with an easy drag and drop email builder. And one of the other major things I want to mention is the segmenting for contacts, which is called tags. And we'll get into some words here in a few minutes. And it has some very easy tracking information. Last December, some of you were probably on the Zoom when Nancy did a session that included an overview of MailChimp. And I've included a link so you can watch that if you want to. If you do watch it, it starts at 46 minutes because it was also done, I think, with the Facebook to begin with. So at that point, some of you who are probably still on this call said, and Nancy, are you going to be with us every month and tell us how to do it again and again? So that's where I started thinking that I needed to give you something that you didn't need to get over and over again because you have it. Why did I implement MailChimp, or why did I fall in love with the idea of MailChimp? And it was Ilga that taught me MailChimp to begin with. And I can tell you, I was thinking about this tonight. When we sat at her house with my computer and so forth, she started the process, got me started and so forth. But that was the only real lesson that I took. From there, I might have called her several times to say, what do I do next? I'm not even sure. But it is quite logical, but you have to start someplace with some piece of information. I like MailChimp because the reader doesn't have to click on anything. The email opens and there's the information. And as it says here, my goal is to get as many eyes on whatever I'm sending as possible, an email or a newsletter. Because if somebody doesn't click on the newsletter and it's come by email, they don't read it. It's that simple. So if they don't read it, they don't have that information. But at least if you can give it to them in the email, you have a better chance of being able to have them read it. It has easy statistics, which I'm not even going to go over tonight because it's so obvious that when you send out an email that you'll see the statistics right in front of you. No email addresses will be seen. Sure, you can blind copy something because I hate getting that reply all kind of thing. And 15 people are sending you an email saying I'll be there. I don't like that kind of thing at all. But with MailChimp, it's all on a database, so you don't have to ever put in the email addresses once you get the database built up. MailChimp is a recognized platform, and fewer emails go into bulk mail or whatever it's called. It can be called various things in different people's emails. The only email account that I've ever had trouble with, and you might want to put this in your mind, is Gmail. Gmail sometimes will go into the social or promotions field. It's always a folder. It's always there when somebody calls and says, I know this went out, but I didn't get it. So I'll stay on the phone with them and say, let's look at your social or promotions folder of Gmail. And there it is. Oh my goodness, there it is. I see it. We have a new vocabulary in MailChimp. Once you become familiar with the vocabulary, I think it's a little bit easier to understand the whole process. Audience is where you store or manage the contacts. When you have a free account, then you have one audience. That sounds like a little scary with one audience, but you can tag people, and you can send it out to just the people that you want to tag, like the board or a particular interest group or special interest group or something. A subscriber is someone who has a subscriber is someone who you have their permission to receive your emails. This MailChimp is done mainly, I think, for people who are selling something. So subscribers come on and say, I want to subscribe to what you have. For me, I don't ask people to subscribe. I include them in the MailChimp database. Therefore, it's important to put on the very bottom of the MailChimp that you're receiving this MailChimp or this email because you are a member of, and then name your branch. A campaign is an email. It's that simple. This is where you want to spend most of your time, or that we will spend most of our time today for sure, but that will be most of your time because it's the place that you can be creative. Content Studio is just a matter of a place that you're keeping your pictures or file document. Replicate is to copy a campaign. If you are going to have maybe a board meeting every month, well, you can just take that same campaign, you can replicate it, I'll show you where that happens, and then just change the information about the date, time, whatever you need to do. So now we're going to create an account. Go to the place that is listed here. Of course, you obviously can just Google it and say that you want to go onto MailChimp. Sign up for free, fill in the entry form. The important thing is, and I put it in bold, you will receive a confirmation email, and that you want to make sure that you go to that and do what it asks you to do, which is to send it in again. That will activate your account. You have to confirm that you're a human being. So you want to enter this piece of information. I learned just recently that you can't set up MailChimp, be the beginning of MailChimp if you use one of these role-based email addresses, in other words, admin@Potter or security at whatever, you can't set it up with that. You will get something that looks like this. Any program, this actual screenshot is something that I took off of somebody else's because I didn't want to get to a point where I had to have nothing in it. So I took this. When you get to this point of setting up a free account, yours could look a little different because MailChimp is famous for changing things a little bit by little bit and revising it, but it will have all the same pieces and parts to it. Of course, you have to create a mail list. I mean, a mailing list. If you don't already have a mailing list, you have to create one. This tells you step by step. There's no reason for me to read this or to go over it because it's right there in front of you. If you have contacts, then you can click on that on the here and it will give you a tutorial. The MSD in the state, in the national website, you will have a list of your branches, all your members. You can take that list, create, I think it's a CSV. I always want to see CVS and I go, oh no, I think that's the wrong place. That's a building. And so I think it's CSV file, and follow the tutorial and make yourself a mailing list.
So can I
If you
just
need
butt
it-
in that a CSV file is like a spreadsheet you created in Excel and you just save it as a CSV file. And CSV means comma separated values.
Thank you.
That's how we used to do it. We can now do it on a spreadsheet.
Thank you. The tutorial will tell you how to do it, but and frankly, when I went into the national database, it didn't say that I could take off the names. So I'm kind of thinking, and I didn't follow this up and ask anybody, it might take a certain person in your branch to be able to take that name list off. You'll have to check that out for yourself when you get that far. If you need to add them individually, you click on add a subscriber, complete at least the email, the first name and the last name, and very importantly, click that the person has given you permission to receive emails. The next thing I want to talk about is tags. Tags are labels that help you organize your subscribers. They're highly changeable. You can add, subtract, have as many tags as you want. I have some for the interest groups. I have some for the board. I have one for everybody, of course. I can't even think. I think that's all that the various tags that I've organized. And then when we get to creating an email, you'll see where you select the tag that you have already tagged the various people. So as you put the people in individually, you can tag them. You can also do a group tag. Once your audience is in there, you can highlight somebody and then put all of those in the board. You can highlight the board people and then choose the tag of the board, and everybody would have the board tag. That will be quite obvious when you get into that point.
Rhonda, would you say that another way to explain tags is they're subsets of the group, you know, specific people that you want to receive certain things, like you said, like the board or a certain committee or the interest group or something like that?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And a person can be on as many tags as appropriate. Anybody have any questions so far? That would be a good time to at least find out if everybody's with me on tags.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
And it's actually not on tag, sorry, it's a half a step back. And I just put it in the chat, but related to the subscriber email, do you think that medfordaaawcom@gmail.com would work, or does it need to be a personal address?
No, it actually is better if it's just an address for the branch,
Okay.
not a personal email. I have like 5 or 6 different emails for 5 or 6 different things, and they're all like La Mesa El Cajon at gmail.com. Tigard area, I'm not even sure if it says branch, I forget, at gmail.com.
Okay, thank you.
This is what, after you get yourself an account and you log in, and you'll have to have a username and a password and so forth, that's for sure. But then once you log in, you'll come to this particular screen. Some people would start with the word create. When Ilka taught me, we started with campaign. I didn't even know you could start with create. And so I don't even know what you do with create. So I always start with campaign. And this will show you a little bit about the open rate, 60%, and the click rates, 27.8. That just happens to be one of the campaigns that you come up to the most campaign when you come to this first screen. And then your content studio, your pictures and so forth are in that last one that has the square around it. And then you see the audience too. When you get to the point, what you want to do is start a campaign. You want to create a template. I understand some people don't create templates at all. I think templates are the easiest way to go. So we're going to create a template when I go to create the campaign for you. Click on campaign icon, then click on email templates. After you've clicked on the email on that, after you've clicked on this campaign, then you click on create a template. I would suggest, because we're talking about the free account, I would suggest starting with the second basic template, which is 1 column, full width. Click save, exit on the bottom right-hand corner. Name the template, which took me a few minutes to figure out how I was supposed to name it. But you click on the monkey's head. Now, who would have ever thought of that? And then you save. This will take you back to templates. Okay, now I have a template. So it's going to take you here. You people are in my way. I've got to move you over, you little heads people. What's very important in this case is I created a template called Summer Camp. Now that is in the templates. I can't stress this enough. It's in the templates. It's not in a new campaign. So you come over here to this little caret. You click on the caret, not on edit. If you click on edit, you will be editing the template. What you want to do is click on the caret over here, click create a campaign. I hope I've said that enough so that it will really be in your mind. Oh, got to move the people again. People keep getting in my way. You come to this, which is the most important page as far as I'm concerned. The rest of it, you just do second knowledge. You just go through this really fast to get to this point. From here is the creative part, is to build a campaign. And that numbers start with the first thing on the number, which is number 2 on the right. 2, who is this email going to? Click on edit, audience. You will have, because you have a free account, you will have one audience. Somehow our audience continues to say Tigard area paid 2017-18. And frankly, I don't know how to change that name, so we're just leaving it. And we can't have more than one audience, so it's going to be its name. I have a feeling we can name it, but maybe Ilga can be smart enough to figure out a way to change it just to say Tigard area. But I warn you, as you're doing it, don't be that specific. Just name it your branch's name, and then it will be good for you the whole time. This is where you would put a segment or a tag. So you choose a tag, which is this second spot down here. If you would like to edit it, you're going to open this, which of course, this is a picture of it, so I can't open it. And you're going to be able to edit your recipients. What is good is to open that and hit the personalize to field. And then in that personalized to field, you're going to click on F name so that your email will go to the person by their first name. Hello, Randa. When you do that, you bypass some trouble about things going into whatever junk mail or whatever it might be called, spam. That's one of the tests. If an email is addressed to somebody, it will be less likely to go into spam. So make sure that you do that each time, because that's one less way that it would go there. Just being part of MailChimp is one way that it's going to be out of spam, because it is a recognized name, and spam places recognize it. But the other thing is the name. Obviously, you want to stay away from weird words too, but I think just being AUW, you're going to be doing that. So that will help it to stay out of the spam folder too. Then this next thing is, who is it coming from? On the from, once you've set up your account, when you hit from, I'm sorry, one more thing, go back up to number 2. You must save it. You have to click save, or else it won't be saved. So then we go to 3, and who is sending the email, and you're going to click that open, and your branch name will be there. Click save. What is the subject? Obviously, the more creative you are with the subject, the more likely somebody will be to open it. I don't feel like I'm very creative, so I have to rely on the fact that they know this is coming from the branch, and therefore they're going to want to open it. But if you can be creative, that was all the better. There is a second line, and I'm not sure how this works. And I remember Nancy saying somewhat the same thing on the other thing that Nancy did, is that there's a second line that you can put in, and I guess some emails will print that second line as a teaser for opening the email. You can play around with that and see if that works for you. Then click save. Now down for the content. Again, the most important. You're going to come to a screen that looks like this. Let me tell you that you will make a mistake over and over again for the first 2 or 3 times. You're going to, at least unless you're superhuman, because I've always heard people make this mistake. You're going to drag the box from over here, the text box. You're going to drag it and drop it here. Your inclination, since you've done that, is to type there. Do not do that, because it won't stay there. You're going to
Randa, excuse me, we can't see your arrow very well, so tell us the left side and the right side, would you? Of where we drag from.
Oh, my arrow. I'm sorry, my little arrow. You know what? That arrow seems so light to me myself. You're going to see this when I show you, when I create the email. And so I wasn't going to spend a lot of time on this, but you have all of these boxes over here on the right-hand side that you can use, and you will use along the way in order to be able to create your email. But you're going to drag your box over here from the right-hand side, and you're going to take it over to the left-hand side and drop it. That's why the drag and drop. And so when you try to type on the left-hand side, you go, oh, that's right. She said I can't type on the left-hand side. I have to type on the right-hand side. But you will know that you're in very good company because everybody has done that along the way. This will just help you when you print out or keep what it was I sent you, then it'll make some sense about when you see it here, this particular page. When you get to the point of the little icons in the bottom, you will want to put in whatever accounts you have on the right-hand side. You will want to put in the branch's Twitter account if you have such a one under Twitter. But they have the icons already there for you to fill in. There's more icons than this. This is the only 3 that I had filled in, but there are more that you can use. What, Instagram or something? I don't even know all of them. Make sure that you put your own website in here. If assuming you have a website, and your Facebook and Twitter, whatever it is you have. And again, at the very bottom, save. It's very important on the right-hand side, once you're finished with a content, to save and exit before you go on to putting up the next box. Because when you're all finished, if you haven't saved and exited a particular box, it won't be saved. I've created an email for you that I'm going to show you in a minute that has 16 blocks, 12 different types of blocks, or different ways to manage the block. I've included in red info about each type of block, including some instructions and suggestions. So I'm going to share my, I'll share my screen and recreate a campaign, leaving off the red information. However, I'm going to finish this off before I create that. When you're totally finished with content, you want to make sure that you have on the all 4 of these, 2 from, subject, and content, that you have a check mark. As you can see, there is not a check mark on content because there's something that needs to be corrected at that point. So you have to go back and edit it. However, at this point, you can even send yourself a text email. And it's a very good practice to always send yourself a text email. But what I've gotten into is sending myself a text, and just to me. And then if I want other people to, after I'm comfortable with it, then I send it out to 1, 2 other people to look at it, to see if I've covered everything that I need to cover, and that I've said it in some way that makes sense. Because you really want somebody, in my opinion, you want somebody to look at it to make sure that you've covered what it is you expected to cover. It's better. I've discovered the hard way that I think, especially in the free account, you can only send so many test ones. And I kept sending test ones and sending test ones. And then I went, oh, they tell me I can't send anymore. Now what do I do? So I had to replicate the email and start basically over again, although it was replicated. And then I was doing some reading and finding out that when you send it to more than one person, when you send it to 2 and 3 people, it's like sending 2 or 3 emails, test emails out. So if you just send one to yourself, then you can forward that email to somebody else in the branch, or whoever you want to, your favorite editor, to make sure, and a trusted editor. So many times I'll send something to somebody saying, okay, what do you think? Oh, yes, that's fine. And then you send it out and you go, oh, goodness, there's this big glaring mistake there that nobody caught. So ask somebody to be honest with you so that you can send out a good product. I did that recently and sent it out to a lot of people, like I forget what, 10,000 people in California. And there was an extra space between 2 letters. And we try so hard to do it right. And then you get something that's so glaring, as so simple, that should have been taken care of. Then when everything is ready to be sent out, and you will see that with the 4 check marks in those 4 areas, And up here at the top, you'll say the email campaign is ready to send. Then you can schedule it to be sent later or send it. And I believe the way I'm hearing it, you didn't used to be able to schedule a free account, but you can now. Nancy's still shaking her head, but I do it all the time. And I have a free account with Tiger. The one in San Diego, we pay for, so because we wanted 2 or 3 people to work on it. So we pay for that one, but this one is free, and I can schedule it. And I like to schedule it so that when somebody gets up in the morning, because you can actually schedule a time, when somebody gets up in the morning, oh my goodness, there's my email. And so, but there's no right time. I mean, people look at their emails differently. Or if it's ready, then just click send. Okay, now I have to, where'd my little people, where'd my thing go? Oh, there it is. I'm going to do a new share. And I'm this one.
I just want to let people know while when getting you get settled that it's not so easy to share your screen, because what they show you is everything that you've got open and more. You can use a drawing thing and you can do this. So you've got to find the exact right thing in the thing they're showing you that you want to share. So it's not as easily found as you might think just watching it.
And I didn't get the right one the first time. Where did it go? Oh, I keep getting back to the same one, right? I go back to the MailChimp presentation.
Yeah, just go ahead and close that and do a second screen share. Don't try and be cute. And share, and then start a new one.
Uh-oh, I lost you altogether.
I'm going to end your share.
Okay. And now I can share again.
Yeah.
I've done that more than once.
The only reason I know what's going on is that I've done it.
Oh. There's where I want. Now, can you see branch buzz?
Yep.
Okay, this is what I'm going to create. And this is what that here would look like. And everything in red. Wait, this is a logo. This is a text box, as it says there. This is a text box with the headings of 1. So this will become obvious when you start trying to do it yourself. This is a text box with 2 equal columns. I will show you how to do that. So you can see what I'm talking about. This is a divider with a divider box. This one is a box text. It's always good on a box text to be able to make a contrasting color so that it will stand out. This I did down here, this divider I've never done before, but there might be a reason why you would want to do a divider, that you color in the information around the divider. I don't know why. One of the tricks that I learned is on a divider, you can make a duplicate. A duplicate shows up and then you can just move it to where you want it and you don't have to recreate it. But I am going to get rid of that because I don't want to do that. I've included this just for your information. These are the national colors currently. That's going to be changing but this has all the little hex numbers or whatever. So if you want to use the national colors, you can use this little box. Nancy did such a wonderful job of this that I included this one. This is an image group, which has 3 pictures. So I just needed to grab 3 pictures that I already had. This obviously is books for for a reading book or something. This is a button. Over here, you will see that there's a button box. And then I've actually put in something that is linked, and it is a YouTube that you can watch on how to do MailChimp. And here is the footer of it. You have to have an address, which will just come automatically. But here is the sentence that I said. You're receiving this email because you are a member of the Tigard area at UW branch. So that's relatively important, at least as far as MailChimp's concerned. You really want to have only people that have permission. And I assume that by joining, they have given me tacit permission to include things to mail to them. So now I'm going to, but I think this would be a good point to stop and answer any questions before I actually create a new email. Any
I can't speak for
questions?
everyone, but I think watching you do it will help a lot.
Okay. Thank you.
There was a little box that said code. What does that refer to, Randall?
It said what?
Code. It was the last box in the selections.
I don't know.
Oh,
I don't either.
I don't know.
I don't use
Code.
it.
Oh, you're talking about in the bottom.
Oh,
Probably.
you know, when you can select either a text box or an image box or whatever, when you're creating your content boxes, there is one that says code.
Oh, okay. I don't know how to do that.
I don't know what it is either.
Okay. Thank you.
You can Google
so
it to
we're going
find
to-
out and let us know.
it can't be important.
Well, I certainly do all the emails without that. I would imagine that some companies really want to put a code on there, that a company selling something would have a reason to put a code on an email. This one went out as a free something or other, and this one went out as a paid something or other. I don't know. How's that
Or
for
maybe a
good tip?
QR.
Yes,
Maybe a
be.
QR code.
could be.
It could
So first we're
also,
gonna
it
go-
could also be more sophisticated for people who can actually write code, some kind of HTML coding or something in there to do
That's kind
something
of what I think it
fancy.
is. That's what
Yeah.
I think it is.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I
That could be.
think. Yeah,
Because it has those little scoochies on either side of it, as you would with an HTML
Okay.
code.
yeah. I think you're
You
right,
mean those-
Nancy.
Those little carrots that go the other way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna go with create a campaign and come down to email template. I guess I will create a template. Yes, I will. I'm sorry that when I use this, it goes slower. And I suggested that you go to the second row, 1 column, full width. Selected. What happened when you select? Oh, there. Okay. So now this is the template. I'm going to go up to the monkey and name my template test. This is where I said it's important. Do not edit here. Come over to this caret, click it, create a campaign. You can see all those things that are there. Oh, there's an HTML if you want to do that. I don't know anything about HTML. Create a campaign. Promise you it will not be this slow when you're doing it. Edit recipients. I'm going to open that. It's going to go to the entire branch. This is where it says personalize the to field. I'm going to click on that, select first name. This is where I would put in a tag. If I didn't want it to go to all 30 members, I would do a tag, which you can see board members. We try to tell next door that we're going to have a program, and there are certain members that have next door accounts, and so we ask them to send out an information. We're not doing that with COVID now, of course. So that's what next door is. Then save. From. I'm going to open that, and it's going to say Tiger. Save. Subject. I'm going to say test. What I've created that you'll see was the summer skills camp, but I only type left-handed, so I don't do a lot of typing. Now, the nice part, interesting part, because this, you can be very creative. The first thing is going to be the logo. Except that I think mine will come up with a logo on it, because once you establish a logo, then it will come up always. I hope I'm right. I am right. Oh, how exciting. Okay, now we're going to, according to my little thing here, if any of you have the thing that I already wrote, now we're going to have an image. Is that what I said? Image block. We're going to click down, bring it over, and drop it. This is where you're going to be tempted to type over here. Don't. We're going to upload an image. However, I already have this image uploaded, and you will need to figure out how to upload things, because you're going to upload and then you're going to find it in your
Just show them the upload button. Oh,
yes, okay.
already-
I'll show it to you later. So it's going to be there. And now the next thing you must do is save it, which you people are in my way to save it. There. Now the next thing is going to be a text box. Click left on it, bring it over here, drop it. Feel like I'm talking to my dog. It will say this information over here, which obviously you don't want it to say when you're finished typing it. So you can either type right over it, you know, click it and then type right over it, or you can just plain old get rid of it. So let's just get rid of it. This is an important thing to know here. It says you're going to do, oh no, this one is just the title of it. I'm sorry. You're just going to use one thing. It's the next one that I was ahead. So you're going to do skills camp. You're going to make that, I think a header 1 is what I'm saying. Yes. Come up here to style, heading 1. Come on, you can do it. There. Obviously, you would want it to center it. Obviously, you would want to use some kind of pretty color. I didn't take a very pretty color because it didn't take it. Let's do red and see. You can even do it bigger if you want. And then you must save it. The next one is going to be text blocks with 2 columns. So you're going to bring a text box down. And it says drop box block here. We want to do 2 columns. Over in the settings tab, you're going to do 2 columns. You can have a choice of equal columns or unequal columns. I think I said equal columns. Then we're going to come back to the content. The first one is going to be a picture. I'm going to put my own picture in, and this is where you would upload. I guess I should have, don't do that. If you're going to upload something, you're going to come here, upload it, go find it on your computer, and then bring it back. Does that make sense? Because it doesn't, I'm not giving any other directions for that. I already have mine uploaded, so I'm going to insert it. That was column 1. Over here, I like to keep things at about 200. I play around with the image width. I like to do 200. We'll see if that works. This will do an automatic proportion. And then insert the image. It stayed on the left side. I forgot to take out this words that were already there, but that's easy enough. Now on this side, you're going to do in column 2. Get rid of the words presented by blah, blah, blah. Save. Obviously, you would be putting in a few more words. This one, when you want to edit this box, you go bring your cursor over and it highlights the box. Here's the little edit pencil. You're going to edit the pencil. Many times I'm going to only write 2 or 3 sentences. So I want the words to be further down, to be in the middle of the picture. So you look at it and you say, okay, that's about right. But then when you do it, you say, no, I want it bigger, whatever. I mean, you obviously that's one of your places where you're going to play around. Okay. I'm following my little thing here. Did I? Then I did a divider. press down, bring over, drop it. Then you have to decide what you want. You can have a solid one, you can have any of these. I usually do solid. When you do solid, it comes in as some other color. I don't even know what color this is. So I open this up and make it black, but you obviously can make it any color you want. If 2 pixels isn't big enough, change it to 4 pixels or 6 pixels or whatever you want. Save. The next one is a divided block.
So Rhonda, while you're looking for that, I have 2 quick questions. One is that information that scroll up, and I want to see the text that below your divider right now, that divider you just added, that part right there where it says it's time to design your email, blah, blah, blah. That will go away automatically, or is that in?
No, but you can come over here and put it in your trash box.
Okay. Okay.
It's just ready for you to know that that's where you're going to work on.
Okay. I think that's important for everyone to know that that's not going away. That's something they put in there. Okay.
Right.
Excellent. And the second question is, when you're dragging and dropping, you're using the right mouse click or the left?
I pick it up with the left. I mean, I think you can recode your mouse. So, but mine is, I do it with the left side of the box, click and bring it over.
Okay. All right. Because some dragging and dropping is better to do with a right mouse click. So just want to make sure. If
Yeah.
I've totally confused everyone, then just forget I asked that question.
No. It makes perfect sense. But I think people can do it their own way. So
Okay.
I'm just telling you, mine, I haven't done anything different to it. So mine is the way you buy it out of the store.
Okay.
As you can see, okay, then you come in and do style. You can change your font. You can do anything. Obviously, you can see what you can do. You can have right now the text is white. So I would go down and do the background first before I got rid of the white there. The background can be any color. That's better than black, I think. And then you can decide whether you want the writing to be black or potentially white. I mean, you can choose whatever color you want. You also can do, I'm gonna move that little guy around. You can do a border if you want. I did a border on mine. Uh-oh, what did I do? That was not too good of me. I hit something. So you're still seeing it and I'm not. This ought to be fun. I didn't save everything. Good.
Well, the good part about
And-
that, Rhonda, is that MailChimp does have autosave. So
Yes.
sometimes it will save stuff even before, if you haven't done the save yet.
I've never relied on that, but as you can see, it didn't save the color.
No, I wouldn't either because it's, you know, not all the time.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go to style. Wait, I forgot to be in there. Then I'm gonna go to style. And I was going to leave it white, but I'm going to change the background to red or some orange or whatever that is. And what is a good idea, as you can see, is to save it as you're going so that you don't lose it. then I want to show you how to do the border, and it says none. So you can have a solid border around it, and you can choose height, something pixels. And then save it. I was going to, oh, something I like is the line height. I change the line height on everything to slight. You can't see it here because it's such a small amount, but it saves a little. MailChimp can get to be really long if you're doing an email, a newsletter on MailChimp. So it gets a little bit closer. And then I would rather have the fonts like 18, so that it's bigger but closer together. That's just my take on things. Then you come down to these little guys and you're going to edit it. And that's where you're going to put in your own information. And then save it, obviously. Then you can come down to here and open this and put in that sentence that I was talking about in here. Some of this is automatic and you can't even see it here until you go to print it. But you can add a sentence that says you're receiving this because you're a member of AUW. Okay, we're getting past 8 o'clock, so we're going to continue.
Randa, can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
Those little Twitter and Facebooks that you put in, those are those actual buttons? Will they take you to the link for the other?
Yes, it will take you to whatever you tell it to go to.
Okay, good.
If you don't put anything in, it will take you to MailChimp's Twitter and Facebook.
Oh, okay. So you do have to program. Okay. Or system.
And like we don't have Instagram in either of my branches, and so I got rid of Instagram.
Got it.
Otherwise, I suppose it would take you someplace.
And you'll notice the bottom of the email that I sent out, I've got like 5 of them or something, LinkedIn, YouTube, and I move them around so that their colors aren't, I don't have red against red next to red. And yeah, you can play with it really way too much.
There's a lot of creativity here if you want to do it. So here's where you're going to send yourself a text email, which I won't do, but you can preview it here and it will open. And then you can see what it looks like. And if you so choose, you can see the desktop, what it looks like, or on a mobile phone. That's kind of nice to make sure that it's readable. Or an inbox on an email. Well, it's not coming up. I've never done that one before, so I don't know. If you want to view it in a browser, you can do that. And then you can copy and paste it, which is what I do when I want to keep, I've done the newsletter, I send it out. Now I want to put it on our website. So I put it in the browser. I copy and paste all of this, put it in a document, in a Word document, and then make it into a PDF and put it on the website. What I do for the board, because I send them our email, I'm getting the email, so then I send it to them, I forward it to them and take out all the gobbledygook that's to and from and all that kind of stuff. And then they get an email copy of it. Okay, I think we've come to an end so that we need to ask questions if you have them.
I've been keeping an eye on the chat and some people have made some comments, but I think most people have asked you directly. I said, I thought that once you did this a couple of times, it should be fairly easy. And Nancy said, yeah, until you don't do it for a while and then they change it.
I have a
Everything-
question.
Everything.
I have a question. Once you've set this one up the first time, that one that you're doing, and then you're going to do it again for the next month, do you have to then start all over bringing the boxes in, or you can copy that one and then just put stuff over the top of, we put different pictures in or something like that?
You certainly can do that. That would be called replicating it. And so you would come back to that email and you would replicate it. And then it would look just like you did it. Or you can go back to the template and then it would have your logo and whatever you put in the template. I put a little newspaper, a little icon for a newspaper for the newsletter. And you can see I did the branch buzz for, if you were listening to Dawn's email, Dawn's program the other day, she was talking about a branch buzz. And so I went and created a branch buzz because I thought that was cute. But I like to work off of the template. Nancy says she replicates it. So it's your choice.
So Randa Peggy Shippen says, this has been excellent. Are you available to call if I get stuck? So maybe you need to put
Absolutely.
your
In fact,
phone
I would
number down.
prefer that. I like the one-to-one, and my phone number is on the bottom of the document.
Handout. I thought that was pretty gutsy of you to put your phone number on the document. Just saying.
I get such a pleasure out of helping somebody and then them saying, almost like, I don't necessarily see them, but so much like, oh, okay. I love that. Just when they get it and they go, oh, okay, I can do that.
So you're getting a lot of compliments in the chat, Randa. Anybody else have any last questions? I can't see all of you, but I can pretty much see everyone.
I have a question. Brenda, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
It's Lan Roberts.
Yes. Is it true that if I put, because a lot of time I send out some emails and people said I didn't get it, and so some email is important to a group. So is it true that if I put somebody read the email and it will let me know, and the other person who read the email and saw that I mark read or unread, they would feel insecure? Did I make it clear?
Well, if you use MailChimp, most everybody gets it because it's a well-known company and they go through, except for those Gmails, it goes through. But if somebody doesn't get it, by the way, once you get the hang of it, and that's a little bit further on, you can figure out, because you see the statistics, you can see who didn't open it, and you can send it out again to just the people who didn't open it.
Ah,
Yeah. Oh, okay.
good.
Thank you.
I didn't include that because it's just going to be too much. But, oh, and something I forgot to say, that when you're on MailChimp, down on the bottom right-hand corner of most of the pages is a little question mark. And if you will click on that question mark and ask MailChimp a question, it come back very nicely about the answer to your question.
So it's like a help bar.
Correct.
Yeah, okay, just a question mark.
And when
Okay.
and when Nancy did the presentation in December, somebody asked her, how do you get rid of a campaign? Like maybe you didn't, like right now, the campaign I just showed you is in draft. And I spoke up and said, you click on the little box in front of the thing, the campaign. That has gone away on my thing now. on my program.
The reason I
fool
didn't know
around
the
and find-
answer, the reason I didn't know the answer, Randa, about that is I couldn't see it on mine until I hovered my mouse over it.
Correct, but
Yeah.
it doesn't hover for me anymore.
Okay, okay.
So I have tried to figure out what to do, and I frankly didn't update my program because I didn't want to update it and then go, oh goodness, it looks different to me, and I'm here in front of all you people. So I didn't do that. But I will now update it, and I'm going to try to write to the company. And I think, at least with my paid account, I think I can actually write to somebody, because when you ask the question, they tell you to hover in front of that and a little box will come, and it won't come for me. So from December till recently, they've done something.
So Sarah Elmer said, and I agree with this, I love it when someone says they didn't get it, but you can look at the statistics and see that they had opened it. That's like,
Correct.
I'm not going to give to you guys anymore. And then you look and they never gave you anything anyway. So, yeah. All right.
Pat,
Any-
this is Claudia. Randa, I didn't open one of your one of your newsletters, and I got a message within a day or two. You didn't open this. Try it again.
She's
Thank-
fussy that
Yeah.
way.
It works.
And I
very,
bet
very
you
well.
opened it then,
I
didn't you,
did
Claudia?
immediately. I did. Thank you very much. It works.
Yes, it's a very good way.
Can I just make a comment that for those people who did not read the email I sent last night and noticed that embedded in that was the link to get today's handout, I have put it in chat. You're going to have to scroll. It's a MailChimp document.pdf. I can add it again if you can't find it. And maybe I only said it to one person. I could be two. Nope, everyone. So if you scroll the chat a little bit, I put the document in there. Because I'm not emailing it out to you. I already did.
Yeah, thanks, Nancy.
I'm feisty these days.
But
Anyone
hopefully you'll
else?
include it when you do the video.
Yeah, I'll post it I'll make a link to it. I'll put it in our Google Drive and have a link directly to it on the video description. Yeah, but it's not going to happen today.
So big
No.
reminder, you can watch this again and again and again until you get it. Thank you, Randa. Really terrific information. You made it
my
very
pleasure.
understandable. So thanks
Thank
so
you.
much. Any other last comments?
Thank
Tiger
my
is well
internet-
represented.
My internet finally showed up about halfway through, so I got to see the end.
Yay.
Looking forward to seeing the beginning when it's on YouTube. So, yeah, very helpful.
Good
Yeah,
job,
very
Randa.
excellent.
And please, I
Excellent.
do mean that you're welcome to call me.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Excellent.
All right. Thanks so much, Randa. And tomorrow night we have the smiling Linda Liebenstein, who's right there on our screen. And she's going to talk about something that we're all going to either face. We've faced it with someone else. Nancy just spent weeks helping a friend move to assisted living. So downsizing is coming to us all at some point. Maybe sooner, maybe later, but Linda is going to really walk us through how to do this tomorrow night, painlessly, hopefully. So see you tomorrow night at 7. And thanks, everybody. We had great attendance tonight.
Can I call her the cleanup hitter
Yes, you
in
can.
my email?
Yes, she's the cleanup hitter. She's also taking us into extra innings, which I think is a good, extra innings. That's what we all want, right? And so I have to tell you all that the Lake Oswego Little League team won their first game at the World Series in Pennsylvania, but they lost their second two. But in the second game, they had a 3-point double play, shortstop to second base to first base. Awesome. Okay, just the baseball
Yay.
thing there. Good night, everyone.
Thanks,
Thanks for
everyone.
coming.
Randa, you were brilliant. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Terrific.
Thank you. And thank you for your help, Nancy.
Sure. Bye.
Bye.
Okay.